Hi, this is Lynn Schnubley with Educating with Wisdom and the Ambassador of Heavens, creating and protecting goddesses and archangels over life. So let's come in and take a look at this. Oh, here we go. They know I'm having a very hard time getting this out to Palm Beach County and coming out publicly because I've spent 7 years fighting, and and they don't stop hitting. So I went again one more time because I really don't have any confidence in you. And I think like the Boeing 747 jets that needed to come down to show that it was Obama, and the hurricanes hitting as a sign of God. I'm thinking that Palm Beach County, I'm thinking that the state of Florida has to be shown as a non-example of what not to do. I don't see you helping in any way. But let's go in and, all right, Heavenly Father, Mother, please help me to do this correctly. And once again, I go in and I have, so let's see what's here. Let's see if we can open this here so that you can see it. And here we go. I think I'm just going to put you on pause. Okay, so here once again, I go in, and I went in just a few minutes ago. And once again, this shoots up here from below. It looks like they've taken it. They did the same thing with the Russian deal. They've done this a few times online, on the internet. But here it makes it sound like this was done on 4/7 and I just did it at 4:30. Au contraire. They're saying that this is gone and I did this on 4/29 and Intro to Palm Beach County School District Accountability for Fraud, Discrimination, Retaliation to a Federal Investigation, Modeling Restorative Justice, blah. So I'm just going to send this out every day now, pardon me, for the last few days. This was actually the same thing that they used yesterday. Let's put you on pause and let's see if I can find it. Okay, let's see what this one is, because I think this is the first time they really threw me off. Maybe it was on the 3rd. Oh, yes. Let's see. This is the first day that I think it really threw me off that this kept showing up. So that property for that day is right on the 3rd. And they seem to say that they want me to go out with this with Palm Beach County. But I have my doubts. Oh, this should pop up. All right, so here it is, the 3rd, and it looks like that same piece goes up there. That's what it says, the 29th. Then they do the same thing, and I'm going to show you all these people. Here we go. Oh, let's put you on. Here we go again. This is now the 4th. And the same thing comes up on the 4th. Oh, that's not actually Serena Williams. And I'm not going into that right now. Let's put you on pause for the... Hi, I took a video of this on the 5th. So there's a video of it that was fit into it. But here's the same thing that's now up that says it happened there. Let's see. Put you on pause. Here, this says that it is the 7th, but we know I did it on the 31st, I mean on the 29th. Let's see if I can move it one way or another, and I guess I can't. But I already started the video showing you that it was the 29th. So let's put you on pause again. This is a copy of, and I actually have a folder and a printout of what I had online, which shows you the placement after the American Academy of Management started working with it. This was a copy of what I put online to try to get child support from Udo right before the earthquakes hit in New Zealand. So it's, hello, my name is Lynn Schnebley, and I'm writing concerning my former husband, and this is what I have there. Udo abandoned his children and fled there because New Zealand and the US do not have child support reciprocity agreements. He is in Cross, and by the way, Mary Stratus was aware of this as well as Butch Mundy. So you can see that I do this as a faith base. Right. Dear Lord, as you know, my former husband, Professor Udo Stauber, got up every night when our son was born to make sure he was still breathing. When our daughter was born, Udo danced at the delivery table in joy. Please help Udo to become the man he should be and find and heal his way back to his children. In your holy name, I pray. I wouldn't say amen anymore because now I know who amen is. What follows? I scanned in the arrear statement. All right. Well, this is here and it's going up online. Some of the people I've contacted over the years to try to get help. All right. And here was a copy at that time. Of course, rather than helping after years. Right, the scripture that helps. Notice that this scripture is very similar to, and it is in fact very similar to what I sent to the Russians, and what will help to free up all those resources, which we find in Micah 4 and Micah 5. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, then take thee 1 or 2 more, then in the month 2 or 3 witnesses, every word may be established, and he shall neglect. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglects to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. Verily I say unto you, whatever you shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Here we go. And then I go in and tell them, now let's go in and see the letter. I'm just going to go. All right. So you have to see what Christchurch got, because they got hit with an earthquake as soon as the Academy of Management went up with it. This is the Germans were very good to me. They were very good to the kids. I see that Barack Obama has recently made a trip to see Prime Minister, yes, Merkel. And Chancellor Merkel, Chancellor Merkel. And it's interesting how he was willing to tear apart the EU in order to have his Union of North America and the Commonwealth. And I had reached out to the Germans in early 2016 to let them know what's going on. I don't think Mr. Obama and his group have a place to live. Okay, these are a list of his publications. He had all of this online, so I was just letting everybody know that he was willing to look really good for everyone. Professor Youngblood and Academy of Management, I'm sorry if you feel that this is intruding upon whatever you feel it's intruding on, but understand, as I think you do, I've had no personal security or privacy or anything for years. Here we go. Academy of Management. This was here, this was here, this was here. Let's go right up to, and he tells me, okay, original message from Youngblood. And I don't need to go into, so I will call you at 5 p.m., your time and your cell phone number. So he calls me and tells me I then have to call Udo, and this is the 30th, 2010, and 5 days later, they get their earthquake. Right. All right. So let's put it on pause again. Now I'm just showing you, these are some of the things that were sent I put onto my flash drive from an old computer, and I went up here. All right, so this is from 2010, and already I had done this. Let me see if the properties are actually there. 2018, okay. So I had this ready, up and going, and I had actually been doing this for a few years. Let's go in here. Which one is big? Because it shows the O being, which is the witchcraft that I speak about online beforehand. Here's the war from 2003. I already have this online. My dates and times were used. Mr. Obama got this. They all got it. I sent it to Germany recently because I really felt that they should have gotten it to the embassy. Let's see if we can. All right, O-being, because I got hit with O-being, which is witchcraft. And they let me know as soon as I had contacted the Germans in 2016, I had received this shortly afterwards, letting me know that my life was buried. This was not the first time that they told me that I would be dead. Here we go. As 9 ends, as I end O-being, I will die due to their witchcraft. And this group with Rise Phoenix and the people, not Rise Phoenix, Rise Omniversity. So many of them are witches. It's not funny. This was part of the British Obama system. They were also homosexuals, transsexuals, and when you look at them, some of them are drug addicts. I mean, you can, anyway, let's go out of this. The earthquake. The 5 eyes. Now, when you see this FISA report that came out with this man, I mean, when I found this out right before I contacted the Russians. I found this out in June of 2017, and bingo, I knew exactly what happened to me. My life had been completely subverted. All right, here we go. But we need to go in. It happened here. I thought that this was Obama, but it has the red cap, so it's really British. It's under the black star. That's the black star of Solomon. And then they work in the underworld, and it tells you exactly, when my case, what we're doing. Here is the Father, Mother, the XXY, God in heaven, and I'm closing out Pisces, and not that Pisces is bad, and we're closing out that age where Leo is over life. Let's see if this can go here. I guess not. Close that out here. Oops. But, oh, wait a minute. That's what I wanted to get into. Holy smokes. I actually want to get into the dates. Oh, well, we'll get into that. Oh, one male has to do with revelations. I thought it had to do with, here we go. But that's not what I'm looking for. This can be used some other time. I'm looking for the dates for the war. Elon Musk, please be good and not put that up. Oh, see, the Russians are on the White Knight. They're the White Knight. SpaceX, the Dragon. Oh, this is not what I'm looking for. I'm sorry for wasting your time. Let's put you on pause. All right. Well, here we go. I say Barack Obama is not the great leader. And what I was looking at was World War II. And what I became aware of when God told me to go look and see when there are good things and stuff like that, when was a good time to go in. And God asked me to do a study on these things. When I went into World War II, and I restated this the other day incorrectly, all of the main leaders in World War II that worked together, even if they didn't work well together, but who worked together, Winston Churchill, George V, Charles Andre de Gaulle, de Gaulle, Joseph Stalin, pardon me, that no one would have expected. And of course, I told this to the Russians, William Mackenzie King, Robert Gordon Mackenzie. Now, Peter Fraser is not that. Peter Fraser was in New Zealand, and he's not that group. All right. But he's still a good guy, but he's not within that group. And Franco was also December the 4th. he was also, there were this series of 7 Sagittarians who worked, and all the European leaders of World War I, Allied leaders, were Sagittarians. D-Day occurred when Jupiter was in Leo. Even Stalin and none of the Axis were Sagittarians. Lincoln and FDR were Aquarian 3s, February 12th and 30th, respectively. Aquarius with Jupiter. Now, getting into the earthquakes. These are 4 events. So on the 30th, I went out, August the 30th is when I made contact with them. 5 days later, all right, it hits here. Then they're all 4 events, meaning if you add up these days, it adds up to 4, which is a Uranus day. Now notice I say this is 22 in many places. Well, you're going to see where recently, every time I went online and went into an area, they cut in. When I opened up my computer, it had been cut in with the same request. Because I think you saw Putin said that an earthquake is coming. I had that up earlier. Right after I made the offer in November that not just New Zealand come into Canada, but we bring Australia over to North America so that that area is freed up for China, and that we ask England if they want to join us. And we'll be holding hands that way, and then we'll link up through Europe, because I think the British are frankly, and I mean, I have a problem with all of this. I have a problem with inviting all these people in here because they have abused me. But I don't know how else to do what's best for the rest of the world. So either England has to stay there, England becomes an international research base, or England links up with North America. And I strongly suggest that in order to help counter that Spain and Portugal unite more and link up to make sure that this is in balance in North and South America. Here we go. So here we can see they're all 4 events. Again, 5 days later, 4 events. When they sent Miles Markle out to harass me on August the 21st of 2017, 5 days later, you got hit with Harvey. And that means like blazing sword. And then throughout that period of time that Miles Markle harassed me and I went to the police, no one would do anything about it. And I have the text messages, it's online. You can see that he knows what's going on in my home. He's saying that he's related to Meghan Markle, that he could be her father. I mean, this goes on all this time. He also said he wanted to jump, he also went into the forces to jump out of a plane. By the way, Mr. Trump is correct. Mr. What do I want to say? Senator McCain knew I was being cyber stalked and cyber monitored. He knew this was happening to us. He knew this. And that's not the sign of a great hero. It just isn't. You're welcome, Mr. Trump. Here we go. So let's make sure we understand. You're going to see that even though it says the 23rd, I said here's the 22nd. Let's go see what they did in that when they asked for help. So Putin is agreeing that he knows something's going to hit bad. And Christchurch, that's their choice that they chose not to come in here and do this. So let's see what we have here. Documents. Let's go here. I'm going to put you on pause for a moment. Here, when I would just go in and open up my site, it said Christchurch earthquake hit. And it does say December. So it's reminding me, this article is over 7 years old, Thursday the 22nd, that it did hit at 2100. Now let's go in and see what it says with New Zealand. Let's see if it has anything here for New Zealand. MN. I think it does. Oh, here we go. So then they don't stop. Every day they're sending me something. So let's see what this tells us. The settings, view file. That's the 24th. Oh, the same kind of thing. Now, what day is this one? I'm going to close out of this. Rocked by another earthquake. This is the 23rd of December, because they're letting us know. And file info, that's the 24th. Date taken on the 24th. Oh no, this isn't right. Oh, here we go. 19th is when they did this one. Let's see when this came up. Oh, well, obviously she's not really pregnant. That's what, right? Okay, we're not doing this right now. Okay, here was the 19th. It's the 23rd. Let's see. Again, I got that a second time. Let's see. The 23rd. This happened on the 20th. I didn't open the screen up. This is what was here. And, you know, it's funny. It said that it actually, right, but it actually happened on the 22nd from their time. That's when this face came up. And in 2003, I admit to the Law Society, right before we go into the law, right into the war, that I could be a reincarnation of Elizabeth I. And that I'm here to straighten out the problem. This is getting really tough for me because I didn't, and I go into my letter, which is online, that the embassies have seen now, because I have a problem with reincarnation. So they now put this up on here to let me know that what I made that offer about, I have a responsibility to fulfill. So let's close this out. This is worth reading because it is what happened to me. And I started to report it. I reached out to the Office of Inspector General, to Mrs. Offutt, and told her that something was going on in my life and online. I could feel it in my house. They were threatening on my computer. And that was March the 12th, 2012. They had already been on my computer as soon as I started whistleblowing, but it just acerbated with this particular email. And I'll show you. So guess who is currently in Europe? I don't think he has a place to live. But they are right that it was also the British behind this. And the LBGT, and I mean, they have used everything. And you can see it in all my cries and calls from help, FBI, to the LEO, all over the place. I have been blocked all over the place. And not only did he do this, but in November of 2012, he also put things in with the Whistleblower Act that blocked everybody who worked for a contractor. Everyone who worked for a contractor, a government contractor, anybody that got grants from the government, you lost all whistleblowing rights, basically, because, oh, it was just a mess. What Barack Obama did with the system in order to protect his people, in order to protect what he wanted done. But I have to tell you, it appears that the British also wanted it. I'm going to show you something, and it'll be the last time, then I'll close out so that you understand why I've been so very hesitant to come up with certain things. Let's see if I have this for AOL here. Here, I just wanted to let you know, we're going to retroact this. Here, I need to contact Christchurch Udo Dermestrat Strachan. I hope that this note finds you well. All right, breakfast. Right, because I intervened so that the girls would get their breakfast. Even though I've been fired, they don't want me back. Okay. Sagittarius continues through part of this year. Christchurch was hit there December 23rd, our 22nd with another 6, 3.5. So I let them know that they've been hit. This is, it tells them the end of the 4th quadrant is January the 3rd, 2012. I'd hope that this year things would settle down for them for a while. Since December the 31st, they've had many aftershocks. I really do believe that they need to leave Christchurch. Why I think Christchurch should be looking at Canada or New Zealand. Okay, so I go in and I tell them why. And I'm just going to go through this. So even though I'm fired, even though I'm whistleblowing, even though my intention is to try to get someplace to get help, I'm still trying to get G4S to reach out as a British company. And I discussed John Zuley and what's going on here. All right. But here, I'm contacting her again with this. Let's close out of this. And they were letting me go and they were going to pocket all the money anyway. And they were just committing fraud and all kinds of things because that's what you do in the state of Florida. But this is where the 20th began. This is for the earthquakes. This is crazy. Canada would not have had a problem bringing them in. Just like no problem whatsoever. 1020, 1020. I don't think this is right. It should say out of office notice. This part needs to come from my home email. Law Society, I tell them about the wars. I tell them about the Law Society. I haven't seen my son in almost 17 and a half years. No, excuse me. Yes, that's right. All right. But I talk about the earthquake. And I also say, Mrs. Stratham, this is not easy, and I wish God would get someone else. And when I ask him to, he would say, but who? Not but whom. And I will tell you the other thing God told me to say to the Law Society. Where are the members of the body of Christ? And I also say that I have a problem with this gift that I have because it's not on my terms. God reveals things as God feels fit to reveal things. I have to go back and say, hey, look. And, oh. All right, so this has always been an act of faith for me. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Putin. Thank you, Russians. Thank you, Germans. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Trump. Thank you. Thank you, God. Okay. Thank you, folks.